off day drama, making calculated moves. Check the waiver wire, playing by my own rules. We family off the field, but this right here is war. Battling for the title, settling the score. Real brothers, we run this league. Real brothers, fantasy kings, yeah!
Hey guys, welcome back. It's 2026, season 2 of the Real Brothers. How you doing, Jay?
Doing great. Long time no see.
Long time no see. Since about what, Thursday?
Yeah. Since I ain't seen them.
Right. Yeah, long time no see for you guys. Excited to get something back out here, get the season kicked off and started. As soon as we hit August 1st, man, my wheels were already turning.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about it on the golf course already, trying to get this thing rolling. So.
Yeah. So a couple things. We're gonna have a couple special shows for you guys, kind of help us get back in the groove of recording. You know, we constantly talk about things we can do, so this gives us a good kind of avenue to get set back up to start the year the right way. But a couple things we'll go through today is any kind of changes upcoming for the season. I've already started the league season on the website, so feel free to hop on there. You're welcome to add your keepers on there. I know a couple teams already have. And then I've adjusted some scoring things, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So the draft, I set a tentative date right now. Jason and I are in talks. We may do something different, but I just wanted to get something on there because personally I wanted to see the draft order to see if we needed to make any modifications. And in your opinion, draft order is basically set by season ending with the exception of the winner.
Yeah. So obviously the 2 Super Bowl winner and loser would be 11 and 12.
Okay, so it is okay.
Everything else is off of rankings at the end of the season.
Okay. So the 11 is the Super Bowl loser.
Yep.
Okay. So I will verify that's what that is. I'm not sure how ESPN does it, but I noticed that Scott was our winner last year. So kudos to the Warden for finally getting out there and getting a big win. It's the first time I've seen one coming from his camp.
Especially with the grief you gave him last year.
I know, that ain't no kidding. So in this show, we're also going to do some running. They see me rolling. All right. Hey guys, welcome back. It's 2026, season 2 of the Real Brothers. How you doing, Jay?
Doing great. Long time no see.
Long time no see. Since about what, Thursday?
Yeah. Since I ain't seen them.
Right. Yeah, long time no see for you guys. Excited to get something back out here, get the season kicked off and started. As soon as we hit August 1st, man, my wheels were already turning.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about it on the golf course already, trying to get this thing rolling. So.
Yeah. So a couple things. We're gonna have a couple special shows for you guys, kind of help us get back in the groove of recording. You know, we constantly talk about things we can do, so this gives us a good kind of avenue to get set back up to start the year the right way. But a couple things we'll go through today is any kind of changes upcoming for the season. I've already started the league season on the website, so feel free to hop on there. You're welcome to add your keepers on there. I know a couple teams already have. And then I've adjusted some scoring things, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So the draft, I set a tentative date right now. Jason and I are in talks. We may do something different, but I just wanted to get something on there because personally I wanted to see the draft order to see if we needed to make any modifications. And in your opinion, draft order is basically set by season ending with the exception of the winner.
Yeah. So obviously the 2 Super Bowl winner and loser would be 11 and 12.
Okay, so it is okay.
Everything else is off of rankings at the end of the season.
Okay. So the 11 is the Super Bowl loser.
Yep.
Okay. So I will verify that's what that is. I'm not sure how ESPN does it, but I noticed that Scott was our winner last year. So kudos to the Warden for finally getting out there and getting a big win. It's the first time I've seen one coming from his camp.
Especially with the grief you gave him last year.
I know, that ain't no kidding. So in this show, we're also going to do some running back rankings. So look forward to that. I know I've kind of spent some time this weekend doing a little bit of rankings based off of our number system that we incorporated at the end of last year. So it'll be kind of excited to talk about some of that stuff. Other than that, guys, stick around here and we'll kind of dive right back in. I'm going to pull up something here on the computer just so I can make sure I don't forget you, and we'll be right back. All right, jumping back on here, just want to touch on the few things that changed as far as scoring goes for next year, and it's something we talked about last year.
And if there's something that we forgot or changed, something, feel free feedback in the chat room.
Yep.
We talked about a lot last year. I know we settled on a few things. We're going to try to go through, get them all spelled out, put them out here ahead of time. Everybody knows what's going on.
Yep, and I'll get it in the group chat as well at some point once we kind of get a little closer to the draft. But a couple of those things are with field goal kicking. There were some kind of oddities there where guys could miss an extra point and not be docked anything. Yet you could miss a 60-yard field goal and be docked a point.
Yep.
So we kind of shored that up, and so it's real kind of cut and dry. Where if you miss an extra point, it is now a minus a point and only 1 point, and then no bonus points for any field goals that are 40 to 49 yards. Last year you got a bonus point for that, but too many guys are kicking too many 50 yarders. Yeah. We're giving away too many
so the only bonus points is a 50 yards and above.
50 yards and above for bonus points now, and also you can miss a 40 to 49 yard, or basically anything over 40 yards, you don't get penalized for missing now. Anything 39 yards and in, you'll get docked 1 point, even if it's a field goal. You'll just get docked.
So from 40 to 49, you got the opportunity to make the field goal and get the points, no extra points, but you won't have no negatives there.
Correct. And then from 50 on, you get extra bonus points, and obviously according to however that is. The other thing we changed on there is added a 7th team to the playoffs, which is one thing I was big on last year, getting rid of one of those bye weeks. I felt like you only got 6 teams that make a playoffs. I feel like 2 bye weeks is kind of redundant, really. So we got that shored up. So we'll be at 7 teams this year, and I'll be excited to see how that kind of shapes out.
So that will adjust payouts a little bit. I know we talked about off the side here a second ago. There's no adjustments there, but if there's a 7th playoff team, there has to be some kind of adjustment, doesn't there?
As far as what do you think we should pay out one place further?
So if you made the playoffs, you'd at least get something, whether it's half your money, all your money, whatever it is.
Just from making the playoffs?
Everybody that made the playoffs.
Because we didn't do that this year.
So that's what I say is, are we going to make any adjustments there?
I mean,
so we were only top 4 this year.
We were only top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah. We cut it down to top 3. That the 3rd and 4th place game became a game for your money back, and that was it. And then we top loaded everything else. I would be open to that idea of doing something differently if we didn't incorporate what I'm about to talk about next, which is.
So we're going to stick with top 3 pay.
Top 3, and we'll try, and again, let's see how this season works with these new ideas we have, and see if that kind of helps even things out, but still feel like you're top heavy enough on the front end to win this thing and get paid a decent amount. So kind of leads me into, it'll be $75 to play this year, and what I said was that the payout for the tournament won't change.
So 50 goes to the tournament part of it.
Yep.
The 25 will go into what you're going to talk about next.
Correct. So, and then the 25 additional that I'll be asking for is going to go into a secondary pot. So that's $300, and that's going to allow us to pay from weeks 2 through week 16. So that is essentially every week of our fantasy season, including the playoffs, with the exception of week 1 and Super Bowl week of 17. That we would have games where weekly games are on the table. We'll come up with those games, and it'll be $20 a pop to win one of those.
So each week somebody's going to win $20.
Yep. And so if you're a person that just wins that twice, you've already cut your entry fee almost in half.
So what you'll end up with is, for those teams that are out of it and don't set their lineups, Tim, you can still play for something.
Yep. So everybody.
That's kind of the goal, is to keep those lineups getting set every week, still having something to play for every week.
Yep. And keeping everybody kind of into it all the way throughout. And this kind of encompasses that, and then kind of brings me to the next point, which will be something that was your idea last year, and I fell in love with it, forgot about it, to be honest with you, until I rewatched the video last week. But the week 18 battle royale, I love this idea. That'll just be an optional $5, and we'll talk about this at the draft, and we'll kind of put it out there for everybody. But it'll be a $5 optional, winner take all. So maximum will be $60 if everybody played, but winner takes all, and it's a battle royale where everybody is against everybody for that final week of the season.
Week 18 only.
And best team wins. And that's it.
Yeah, if there's 4 guys in it, they win $20. If everybody's in it, there's quite a bit more there to win.
Yeah. So that's a fun idea. And again, a way we can all end the season on the same day. Kind of everybody going down swinging, and kind of gives you an opportunity sometimes to see what you built for Death Code.
Plus, it gives us another show to do.
It does, yeah. So we're always excited to do more. So with that being said, I think that kind of shores up everything. You got anything else as far as the changes go or anything?
I think that was all the big changes we've talked about. Obviously, we're still reviewing everything to make sure we get them all out there. If there's something you feel we missed, shoot it at us.
Yep.
We want to make sure we get them all talked about. So.
Absolutely. And then I'm just going to ask you one question on the record. Are you okay with divisions just staying as divisions are?
I'm okay with majority rules on that. I always in the past did a 2-year cycle on divisions,
Yeah.
just to kind of get some rivalries built up. If everybody wants to change them up, we can figure something out.
Yeah. I'm going to lean towards leaving it for another year just for the sake of the other changes going on, and like you said, to help kind of build some rivalries throughout. And I want to get mine. I want to get Scott. I want to get mine.
Yeah, because it'd be nice to get to where we have some nice rivalry and do a rivalry week.
Yeah.
I play in another league, and we have a rivalry week where you play that same guy every year. And
Nice.
some of the guys even went and made their own trophy. They passed back and forth.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that'd be real cool to get some stuff like that.
Yeah, it's still involved.
Yeah. So we'll continue to kind of talk about that stuff. Still got about five weeks or so before we're looking, 4 or 5 weeks before we're looking to draft here. So we'll get all that hashed out and do that in the group chat. But other than that, man, you ready to dive into some of these running back things?
Yeah, let's get into these running backs.
All right. So again, I'm just before we start doing I want to give you an idea of where I spent my time doing this over the weekend. So we brought out those EA numbers last year, which kind of give a baseline average to each position in our lineup.
And we called it par.
Yes.
What an average running back 1 scores, what an average running back 2 scores has their par.
Yeah.
And you start ranking guys where they fall. If he's an RB1, did he hit the par that average game?
And just to put things into perspective, because even the best of the best, this is, I ranked over 110 people. Not one person is 100% effective.
Yeah, I mean, nobody has a game every week.
So, that's the Christian McCaffrey. I mean, everybody fails to get their baseline quota at least once or twice in the course of the season. So, anyway, I broke that stuff down, took that into account with how I ranked mine. And then I even went one step further and kind of how often do they fall into the running back 1 category? How often do they fall into
because that's
the
the
running
other
back
thing
2?
about this system is, sometimes your 1 plays down to a 2 or a 3, but what about your 3 or 2 playing up to that 1?
Exactly.
And, there's your sleepers.
Yep. So that's something that I pay attention to, and then obviously I turned it into a bust percentage. Busting being the number below the running back 2. Anything below that number, and it's not that it's necessarily a bust, because
So
a lot of times
basically,
they're right
anytime
there.
they rank 25th or higher for the week,
Theoretically, yeah. In theory, yes. So that's kind of the basis behind how I did my system. Now, knowing we're in a keeper league, everybody's got to keep 2. We know several of these guys are going to be kept. I didn't spend a whole lot of time differentiating between 1 through 4, which in my opinion is still going to be some sort of combination of CMC, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, tier 1. I tier them, so that's my tier 1. Probably not a whole lot to talk about there. None of them guys are going to be available to anybody. Probably tier 2, what I call tier 2. This next group of guys is going to be same boat. Probably not. There might be 1 or 2 of these guys out there.
Yep.
But probably more than likely they're going to be kept.
And then, and just to give an idea of knowing how good JT, CMC. So CMC was under par 12% of the time twice last year. JT 18% of the time. Jahmyr Gibbs 29% of the time, and Bijan Robinson 24% of the time. So this is, you got to be willing to accept what these guys are actually doing out there, and it's not every week, and you just got to roll the dice. So for me, moving on, we can start my list at number 5, and I took this list to 30 deep because I feel like that's going to encompass every starting running back and sprinkle in those next tier. That's going to be the flex players.
Yeah.
So I'm on a little bit of a surprise here, and my list is probably going to be disagreeable by a lot of people. But
Well, your list is a lot of numbers,
it is.
based off of numbers. Mine's based off of what you see on TV and just general consensus from people.
Yep. So one thing I have here, and I'm probably wrong here, and I need to give him his due, but I have in the 5 spot Josh Jacobs. Already in the 5 spot with him being backed up by Devon Achane. And I wanted to talk about Achane because he only went under the EA number one time last year, and it was only by 1 point. So he was by far the most effective, consistent player in the NFL at all positions last year.
Well, I did have Achane in the 5 spot.
I understand why, and that's where I actually had him ranked lower until I broke down the numbers. I just, for some reason, I keep thinking he's a flash in the pan, and he keeps proving me wrong. So maybe next year he's in that top 4. So after that, for me, I've started to see a lot of talk against him, but I think he's still going to have a good year. Is James Cook?
Yeah, I mean, he's been fabulous for a guy that's drafted as late as he is every year and still puts up 40-point games here and there.
I mean, he's doing.
What was kind of his EA number end up being? Was he a good
30%? 35%, you know. But the good thing about him is his running back 1 numbers are double digits. That's hard to do there's not many running backs that went running back 1 numbers more than 10 times. And James Cook did. And just for a point of reference, JT only did it 8 times.
Cook is who I had in the 5 spot.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I can make exceptions for this group to be jumbled in a lot of different ways. You really start to.
That's why I put them in tiers, because it's whatever offense you like better, whichever matchups you like better.
Yeah.
Whichever one's available. Especially when we get into these lower tiers, it's going to be I like this offense better than this offense.
Mm-hmm. So my next one is going to be, again, one of those ones that's probably hard for people to understand, but the number supported dude, and it's my guy Chase Brown.
I got him up there about 7 or 8.
And I have him in the 8 spot. And
The only guy I have above him that you haven't spoken about yet is Hampton.
Hampton is in my top 10, and I'll get to him in just a second. Chase Brown, for me, he also finished in the 8 spot last year, so this was one I actually felt comfortable slotting. I don't feel like he's a better talent than some of these guys that are after him, but he produces because he's on the field so much, and he's effective as a pass catcher.
He's a 3-down back.
Yeah. So, and then that brings me to number 9, which I struggled to put him above Hampton, but I did, is Saquon. And I feel like there's going to be a re-engagement back to leaning on Saquon a lot this year. You're going to see that reflect later in the next show or two when we do the quarterback rankings. You're going to see that being reflected in how I feel about Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. I think they took away from Saquon last year, and their record and their overall season suffered.
I do think that offense is going to take that step back with AJ not being there,
Mm-hmm.
being not that he had big numbers, but he was a focal point for the defensive.
He still finished top 10.
And so I think that, you got guys that can now key on Saquon. And
Yeah. I think he's just going to be a volume guy this year, and I think that's going to kind of keep him in the top 10 conversation. But going back again to yours, my number 10 is Hampton.
the other guy that I have in that top 10 mix that you don't have was Genty. I mean, he had solid numbers. I just wonder what his EA number ended up being.
So Genty was a tough one because he's one of those guys that
He's the focus of that offense.
he was only running back 1 numbers 4 times,
It was a slow start to the season.
running back 2 numbers 5 times, and then overall under 8 times, so 47%. That's not as bad a number as it sounds.
I'd be curious what those numbers look like first half of the season, second half of the season too.
And there are some of those, and I tried to make
Yeah.
notes on them, but I don't think I have it on this particular piece of paper. But the conversation that I have to have when we start thinking about Genty, and we ranked him where we rank. I have him at 11. You have him right there in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But Scadaboo.
Now, Scadaboo I have down a little bit just because that's a big injury that he's coming back from.
I don't disagree.
I know he put up some good numbers when he played. I just, not sold on that offense yet.
I'm kind of there with you. It was because his numbers. He only he was only on the field for 8 games, but he only went under EA twice in those. You know, so that's a pretty good kind of return on investment there. I had him in the 13th spot. I had Derrick Henry right in between those.
Derrick
two.
Henry needs to be right.
So it looks like we're right.
Until he decides he's done.
I know. And,
He's going to be up
but
there.
again, he's a workhorse. I mean, he doesn't do much in the back.
So he's right there in that. Still
He's a
RB1.
fringe top 10. Yeah.
That's RB1 if you're 12.
You're exactly right. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of. I guess you're right. I have him at 12. That puts him at the fringe there of the top tier 1, and I'd have
now we're getting
starting the next.
So now we're getting them to running back 2, and we're talking about Scadaboo as a running back 2. Is a very
That's
solid.
yes.
running back
Now,
two.
yeah. And so then moving from there, for me, I got Bucky Irving.
I got Bucky down just a little bit. I had him last year. Even whenever he was healthy, he was out for a lot of the year. It seemed like he just wasn't a big focus for them as he used to be. Hopefully he bounces back this year, and I'm wrong.
Well, they got rid of Rashad White.
They did get rid of
So that's got to help a little. And, I mean, again, he only played in, 10 games. He only went under 3 times. So even with sharing the backfield with Rashad White, he was still effective when he was out there. So that's I'm just kind of going on the Bucky Irving we've seen before the injury happened and thinking that, he's still kind of got
very
some-
solid running back too. Yeah.
I think so.
Top
Next,
tier running
yeah.
back.
Next for me is going to be Kyron Williams at 15. Steady Eddie. I feel like, like you said, number 2, I don't think you go wrong with there.
No, I mean that offense scores a lot of points. He gets a lot of those.
I will say Blake Corum is probably going to be starting
Taking a
eating a
little-
little
yeah.
bit more this year.
That was one thing I was going to talk about there at the end. Of some of these guys are eating into these guys'
Mhm.
touches, and Quorum started at the end of the year getting into his touches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I worry about that. So I kind of slide him down the list a little bit.
Okay.
Still RB2 kind of numbers, but instead of being 13, 14, I got him down around that 20.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, some of the names I'm still seeing on the list that we've not talked about.
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
And we're already kind of getting deeper into the second tier here. But the next one's for me is going to be, I think it's Jordan Price, the rookie running back from Seattle. And, I mean, it's hard to slot rookies, but again.
Yeah, between him and Jeremiah Love, it's
Yeah,
like I would kind of toss him up. I mean,
my
obviously,
thing-
they're going to be RB2s for our league to start.
Yeah.
Um,
My thinking there is, Kenneth Walker's gone. Charbonnet's out for most of the year, probably the whole season. I'm going with the fact that they're just a better team. They got a good enough passing game, and maybe arguably the top 1 or 2 receiver in the league. Does that open the game up for him enough?
and my thing is, I still don't see them as a potent offense.
I don't just.
Um,
I was shocked at how low Sam Darnold finished in quarterback rankings.
Yeah, so I kind of wonder, and then being a rookie carrying a big load for a team like that, a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
team. So I don't know if I got him that high. I still got him as RB2 down in the around 20 or so.
Yeah. And again,
Him and Love.
it's a flyer. I mean, you look. There's some stats out there that talk about these rookie running backs. Anybody drafted inside the top 12 has finished inside the top 12. I'm not there yet. I'm not that kind of believer on either of these 2 guys. And you'll see where I end up with what's his face here in just a minute. Actually, I don't know if I have one. Oh yeah, with Love. So anyway, that was 16. For 17 for me, I got Travis Etienne. I actually like this move to New Orleans. I actually think New Orleans as a team is going to be better than most people realize, fantasy-wise.
I think he's going to do better than he did as for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I still worry that Kamara's still in that mix a little bit. It's going to get some of his,
Mm-hmm.
especially maybe some of those goal line touches.
Goal line, third down.
So I do worry there, but obviously he's a solid 2.
Yeah, I would agree there. So moving on from there, I got a guy you're going to like, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, same thing about him though is I have him down a tier just because of the whole vulture with the young guy who's obviously. I mean, he's going to get some carries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a proven thing there. But what I have up in that place is somebody like David Montgomery.
See, okay.
I don't know where you actually slotted him in, but a guy that's done well as the second option. He put up some pretty good numbers past few years,
Mm-hmm.
as the second option.
He did. My fear
Now
with
he's going to do a
Montgomery
decent offense with.
is my fear with him is
I think Marks is
he's
still going to
touchdown dependent.
Well, yeah, whenever he was there, he did rely on those touchdowns. But I do think that offense is potent enough to
Yeah. And I do. He
keep him up.
He falls at 24 on my list, which puts him at running back 2. We're still in that tier. So other guys I have in that group are going to be Javonte Williams. And this is where I put Kenneth Walker. And I'm down with Kenneth Walker.
I'm not big on Walker either. I mean, I just thought Walker, I know he had the big end of the season last year with the Super Bowl and everything, but to me, you know, he was just struggling. I mean, Charbonnet was taking carries from him. He was just one of the guys for most of that season. Yeah, he come at the end, got his contract, and then you go to Kansas City, who's never been a real big running back team anyway.
Well, I mean, I got some numbers for you on him, and again, I think he's highly overpaid now. Yeah. Without kind of being proven, I think it's just kind of been a flash in the pan, and people have bit on this. But he played 17 games last year, and he only became running back 2 or better numbers in 6 of those games. So there's really nothing even to draw from. It's just too much inconsistency for my liking.
I still have a couple guys like Judkins up over him, and even still Breece Hall.
And
Breece Hall was always a top tier the past few years. Yep. I know he's dropped.
And I have him down.
Just can't do much.
I haven't, but they're the next guys right there. These are all still in that second running back 2, and then this is where I have love for Arizona as well, kind of rounding out that second tier for me. So that takes us down to the top. That's top 24. So now. I mean, now we're starting to think about, well, let me hear some of the other guys you had in your second tier.
As those running back 2s, that's pretty much it. I mean, I had the Javonte Williams there. Judkins was one we didn't talk about.
I like Judkins a lot. I do.
Yeah. And a guy that I think is a fringe with that guy would be Tootin.
Yeah, so Tootin is one of those, and I was even driving over
if you think
here.
about what Etienne did last year, he could just step right in.
And I've heard he's looked great in training camp. Yeah. He's actually one, I'm not kidding you, on the way over here, I was peeking over at my list when I was sitting in the front seat thinking about Tootin, trying to see if I had him on the list, because I think that's going to be one I'm looking at later at the end of the year. And I'm anxious to see how my ranking ties in at the end of the year, and I'm going to look back at it. But I think Tootin's going to be one of those I left off the list I wish I had.
I'll tell you one guy who I don't have in that top 24 who is a big number kind of guy is Henderson.
Yeah.
I just think that New England still likes Stevenson a lot. They're going to get him some touches. Yeah, Henderson, it was all the home run or nothing. But
yeah, so I actually ranked Henderson above Stevenson, and I don't
have him above.
I don't even know that I've convinced myself that that's the right move. And
we don't even know who's really the starter there.
I have them both in that next tier, so they're both kind of one and the same to me. But like when we look at those numbers again, referring back to last year, Henderson only went above number for running back 2 or better 4 games total, and dude played 17 games. Whereas Stevenson went 6 times over running back 2 numbers. And he only bottomed out 8 times. So, I mean, just a much better consistent percentage.
Now, we are to a point where there's a lot of running back 1s on their team that we haven't really brought up in those top 24. But a lot of these guys that we're about to talk about, there's somebody right on their heels, maybe taking their spot, maybe coming off some big injuries. There's just a lot of question marks on some of these guys.
So one of the immediate ones that's going to be next, kind of in that next year for me, or next on my list, is going to be J.K. Dobbins and then our R.J. Harvey situation.
Yep.
So it's hard to slot those guys.
Yep. Yeah, and exactly. We just talked about Henderson and Stevenson, and then Warren. I mean.
Yeah, and I have Warren kind of down in my notes section because I've actually slotted Dowdle ahead of Warren. To myself, I'm thinking they brought Dowdle there for a reason. I feel like they're going to lean on him more than Warren. I felt like Warren had the opportunity to steal and earn that job to be the feature back there last year, and he didn't do it.
And over in Washington, you got Krosky Merritt, and they bring in Rashad White. What's going to happen there?
Yeah.
That's a toss-up.
It is, and I feel like, he left. That Rodriguez left there. I can't remember where he went.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of these are just going to be battles. Even
Pollard. I think
they brought in a rookie behind him to push him a little bit. So I think that's going to be something to watch.
So the real tough one. I can't remember who it is, but we got Chuba Hubbard there in Carolina, and I feel like Jonathan Brooks. That's who it is.
Jonathan Brooks.
They are really, if he can stay healthy, it might this could be the year where he takes over that offense. That's another name that's just kind of somebody to think about.
The Vikings, you got Mason and Aaron Jones.
I know.
Aaron Jones, when healthy,
I have Aaron
solid.
Jones in the 27 spot on my list.
And Mason, even when he was a 49er, when he played well.
Yeah, he did. He did. Oddly enough, about Aaron Jones, never one time last year did he get running back one numbers.
I could see that. I mean, that offense was horrible.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. So it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of turn things around this year. But some guys that kind of fell off the radar for me, I think Kamara's working himself back up the radar a little bit. But Monangai just